there in Facebook land. My name's Edna Sue Mckee, and today I'm going to be joining with Willie Pendergrass, and we'll be making a buttermilk pound cake. And there's a story behind this buttermilk pound cake. Willie was a student at Lockhart School when I used to work there. And I learned at his young age that he was a great cook because of his grandmother who taught him. And he would come to school and he would bring samples of good stuff. And he'd run up to the office and give me a piece. He shared many things. But this recipe for this buttermilk pound cake, and you can see how crusty this thing is because I've had it for over 30 years, maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
And I've used, every time I cook a pound cake, this is my recipe. And this was Willie's recipe. And his grandmother gave that to him. So I'm going to let him tell a little bit about himself. And as a student at Lockhart, and me, a secretary, how we interacted with each other.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Willie Pendergrass, and me and Edna have been friends forever. Actually, the story behind coming to Lockhart is that we lived in the upper part of Chester County, New York County. So we were going to started off at Head Start in Lawrence, and then to kindergarten, York Road, Chester, and we went to first grade at Zion Pilgrim Elementary in Wilkesburg. So we had one of our neighbors and our church member, Ms. Merrill Powell, got recruited, got recruited to Lockhart Elementary School, a union school system. So she started talking to the parents, and so my mom and dad immediately jumped on, well, my kids are going to Lockhart. So, well, we got introduced to Lockhart in the second grade, and if I'm correct, my second grade teacher was Mrs. Ray Hawkins.
Right.
And it was a wonderful life, and I loved all my teachers, and I had Miss Daniel. She always heard Miss Odell.
I had Miss Daniel.
Oh, you did? Miss Daniels, I had to learn her right quick because
she was strict.
If you ask, can I go to the bathroom? She would look at you for a while. Then she would say, well, can you? Then I said, oh, may I? Then she'd say, no, you can go. So if you did anything out of the way, she would just sit there and stare you down. And I told her one day, I would rather for you to spank me than to stare me down. But anyway, Miss Moore, oh boy. But she was one of my favorites, though. Me and her was just like that. And Miss Odell, I just thought she was just my mama, my grandma. Miss Daniel always encouraged me to be a chef. Miss Odell said, you ought to go on a cruise ship and be a chef. Well, I never did get to do that.
He should have.
But I learned how to cook. Cooking is in the family. The good on my mom's side are, oh boy, they are some kind of cooks. And then on my dad's mother's side, she's a Thompson. My grandma's name Maybelle Thompson, and she married a Pendergrass. Well, she got to raise me because you know how it goes. Your mom, dad gets married. Well, my older sister Phyllis was born. My dad was working in North Carolina, and he was building his own home. Well, I guess it took forever. So by the time he got it finished, I was almost 3 years old, and I remember hugging on my grandmama's dress tail and her leg because I didn't want to go with them. So my daddy said, oh, just let him stay with my mama. I had really double coverage because my mom was just 4 houses up, so I was in and out of her house as well. But she learned me everything. Her and my mom. My grandma was an excellent cook, and she just, when I was a little boy, she had me stand up in a chair making biscuits. She'd give me a bowl, she'd have a bowl. Of course, you know, mine didn't turn out right, but she said they did. And she learned me how to cook everything, starting off with little simple things. And so this cake that we're going to bake today was one of her cakes. It's called Buttermilk Pound Cake.
And it is wonderful. And if you've been around me, you've had a piece of it. Because I cook this cake probably every month. I have a lady in our church who gives me fresh eggs.
Oh boy.
And that makes a big difference if you get to use the organic eggs.
Right.
So I guess we better get started.
Yeah.
So Willie's already greased the tube pan with Crisco. He took a paper towel and went around and coated it real good, leaving no spots.
Right.
So let's just get started.
Okay.
I used this pre-measured.
Yeah, the only way to go.
1 cup of Crisco.
Yeah, 1 cup Crisco. So if you were doing, butter, it would actually be 2 sticks. But the same thing with this. This is 2 sticks, but it's Crisco. And we'll put it in the bowl like so.
1 stick of butter.
Yep.
You stick it in there.
And you can use sweet cream or unsalted. I prefer sweet cream. I say if you're gonna do it right.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna use 2.5 cups of granulated sugar, and
we put the dry ingredients in a separate bowl and mix those before we put it in the KitchenAid, because I made the mistake one time of putting them all in the KitchenAid, and when you cut it on, no matter how low it is, I was coated.
oh boy, I've had it to apply all over me and all over the floor and everything, and you go like, wow. But that's the joy of cooking. Just get in there and have fun.
Yep.
Okay.
That's 2.
2 cups. We're gonna put it in
this bowl.
Yeah. Okay, now we need 1/2 cup. So this is a kind of a different recipe. Most pound cakes call for 3 cups of sugar, but this one only calls for 2.5. It's really light and fluffy, and all of you, if you decide to make it, you're gonna love it.
You'll love it to the point this is the only kind you cook.
Even though, yeah, need to go down just a little bit. Don't want to,
Gotta get it just
I'd rather
right.
have less than more. You can always.
There you go.
There we go. Now that's 1/2 cup. So 2.5 cups of sugar. All right. Now.
All right, we'll put these in that same measuring cup
Mm-hmm.
and beat them up with this whisk before we get started. This is one of the most moist pound cakes that you can cook. There's nothing any worse than cutting a slice of dry pound
I'm
cake.
telling you, you go like,
Do you cook every day?
I cook like on Sunday. A lot of my friends say, "Oh, you cooked all that?" I'm going like, "Hey, you know what? I don't expect to cook again until Wednesday. So I'll cook like 2 meats every Sunday and 4 or 5 vegetables, and it's my grandmama say a little pound of cornbread or some biscuits like I did yesterday, and I'll do that until Wednesday. Then Wednesday evening I'll cook something else." All right, now you need 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, which is, we used to say in the olden days, plain flour.
That's right.
But and you can't beat, after they took Red Band of Confidence away from America, everybody hooked on
White Lily.
White Lily, and you can't go wrong. So White Lily plain flour, not White Lily self-rising. If you was to use self-rising, trust me,
my gosh.
you open that door on that cake, it'll be flat as a pancake. So always use plain flour. So we're gonna do 3.5 cups. See, what I normally do is I take another measured cup and fill it up with 1 cup and put 1 cup in at a time. The next cup. Make sure I don't have enough, that I don't have too much flour in there. So maybe that's what we ought to do, perhaps.
You'll do 1 cup at a time?
1 cup at a time. Let's just see how much extra flour we're going to have. Right now,
So you got all the lumps out?
I hope so. You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to buy Edna a sifter.
I got one.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't have a sifter. I'm going like...
I got one of them old timey ones.
Well, now look, listen at you. Oh, I didn't think you had one. I'm going like, I'm going to have to buy her one. I'll go to Walmart before I go home and bring it back.
No, I got one.
Now, can I use this?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Well, you better move it from the sugar, though, right? Because you don't want to put it in there with the sugar. See, I like to make a mess when I cook.
That's okay. That's what washcloths are for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I crochet washcloths.
Yeah, I got mine, the crochet ones that you gave me, you sent to me. Oh, I just love them. See, now that's a whole cup right there already.
That's 1 cup.
Mm-hmm.
And it calls for 3 1/2. So there's 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said we better do 1 cup at a time. Because we don't want a dry cake. We want a beautiful Mars cake.
Yeah, this one's going to be a masterpiece.
Oh.
It's got Mr. Willie making this one.
Oh, boy.
The chef himself.
Count some quarters. Count some quarters. Boy, there's been some fine cooks in that neighborhood. That what you talking about? You know I know Edna. You know my cousin Janie Craig.
She used to work at
she was the
cafeteria at Lockhart School.
She was the one that made everybody fat because she pretty much cooked about everything.
That's what happened to me.
Oh. You couldn't beat that steak and gravy, that homemade soup, that peach cobbler, oh, and that turkey dressing and them yeast rolls every day. And I always go through and I say, Jane, when you gonna make a cake? Oh, sometime. And sometimes she would forget to take the butter out before she left school. And she come in that morning, the butter's cold, and she make the batter and have all them pans that I have seen her get that pan, throw that pan, because they were, but not often now.
That's 3 cups in there.
So now you need a half.
Right. That look?
Yeah, that's it right there. You don't want to go in the now. Look how much more flour we'd had in that cake.
That's a 4 cup.
Oh, yeah, boy. Well, okay, I see now then.
Okay.
Now in the flour, you gotta have 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/2 a teaspoon baking soda.
There's the 4, and here's the salt. Are we gonna flour the cake pan?
We're gonna flour the cake pan. Yeah, you can use that flour in that bowl there. That'll be okay. And just put it right over in there.
1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Yeah, 1/4 teaspoon. Come on out of there. Why are you hiding? All right. Now we need to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. When you're using like cream cheese, sour cream, and buttermilk, pretty much your recipe will ask you to use baking soda. Now, my cream cheese pound cake I make, it says it wants baking powder. Some people have asked me the question, what if you don't use any leavening? Well, what makes your cakes rise? So the answer to that question is, when you are incorporating your sugar and butter or shortening, whatever you use, that's whipping air into your cake. And your other leavening, when you just use a regular recipe that doesn't call for salt or baking soda, baking powder in it, your eggs is what is rich, and that's what helps your cake be the best cake, and it helps it rise. So those are the 2 things: whipping good air, creaming it real good, and putting your eggs in, and 1 at a time after each addition. Don't overbeat them. Just make sure they just disappear right quick. Okay, and then you will need 1 cup of whole buttermilk. Please, ma'am, please, sir, do not use low-fat buttermilk.
No.
You need the real McCoy.
Because this cake's not for the dieters.
No, this is for people want to have a good time.
They like to lick the bowl. After you start mixing.
So we have 1 cup of Crisco shortening, 1 stick of real butter. We have 4 eggs. We have 2½ cups of sugar, 3½ cups of plain flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon, is it 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 cup of whole buttermilk. We're gonna use lemon flavor and vanilla.
This is the good stuff that makes the cake taste
Yeah, so we're going to use 2½ teaspoons. Now, I always put my flavor in my milk. What do you do, Edna?
I do. I put my liquids together.
Okay.
In the eggs.
All right. Okay.
Here you go.
So, 2½ teaspoons of lemon. Put it in your buttermilk.
It makes it taste really
What you talking about?
And 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
It says 2½ teaspoons of lemon.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it don't like mine. Mine never stay together. My spoon, so I just don't even bother about putting them back.
Okay.
Good old McCormick vanilla, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. Now we have a little, what's that going to fit in there?
Go ahead and pour it in this,
Okay.
and we'll wisp it up.
Okay. Woo! Gonna be yummy.
This is what gives that cake a character.
You better believe
I
it.
smell it now.
What you talking about? I used to sit in the kitchen and wait for it, and I'd be looking in that stove. I'm like, oh.
Makes your house smell good.
Oh, what you talking about? Yeah, somebody come to the door, they'll say, something smell good in here.
So we're going to not do that.
Yeah, we don't put that in there. Yeah, we'll just leave that.
All right.
Okay, now we're going to begin the process of mixing the cake. So we got Edna's good old kitchen aid, and it's her favorite color.
Yep, cobalt blue. That's me.
Okay, we're gonna lock it down. We'll start off.
He's creaming the butter and the Crisco together.
Yeah. And this is what you need to concentrate on. Getting it all good and creamy. Just take your time. And you can increase your speed as you go, but you want to get it good and creamy. Oh boy. So we hope all y'all out there in the Facebook land are going to try this, and you just let us know how it turns out.
You can't rush making a good cake.
Oh no.
You have to be very patient and take your time.
That's right. That's right.
Mixing everything thoroughly is one of the main things that you do.
You have a spatula, Edna?
I do.
So I like to stop my KitchenAid and scrape down the sides of the bowl and put it back in there, because you want to get it all incorporated really good. This is the key to a good pound cake. Let's have this one right here. All right. I always take my bowl off and, just kind of.
It's good and creamy, too.
Yeah, it's pretty. Just look at there. Just nice and creamy.
And that's just the real butter and the Crisco.
I used to get up sometime before day on Sunday morning if I didn't get a chance to bake, because my grandmother Maybelle loved cake and pie. So my life was spent in the kitchen. After she turned the kitchen over to me, she had to have a cake every week, every Sunday, and or either we gonna have a cobbler pie, but it's got to be something sweet, and every day through the week. So,
you're making me hungry.
So one Sunday, we were eating dinner right after church, and when she came from church, she thought that she supposed to go in the bathroom, wash her hands, and she's ready to go to the table to eat. And I said, Grandma, you gotta wait. I got to get it all together. Oh, let's eat. So, and sometimes I want to fry some good old fried chicken.
Oh,
and she hated that I had to fry that chicken because she had to wait to get the other part of the meal. So, one time I said, I'm gonna play a little joke on her. So we got to eating. She said, now, where is the dessert? I said, oh, you know, I didn't get the, I thought I smelled something this morning. I said, I don't know what you smell. Then all of a sudden I go to the stove, jerk the door down, and I'd have big old cobbler pie in there. She said, you little rascal, you. Now we're gonna add your dry ingredients. We'll start, you know, we got them all together, so it don't make any difference.
No, he's got in that bowl the flour and the sugar, the salt and the baking soda, and what else?
And that's it. The flour, sugar, baking soda,
all
and
the dry ingredients. It's good to put everything in a separate bowl.
Yeah.
Dry ingredients, so you can mix that thoroughly too.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
just
way
kind
I do. Do you
I'm
do
just
it?
kind of stirring it, yes, and make sure it all kind of together so you won't have part of whatever in there. So, oh boy,
Looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What you need?
Okay, now I want that's the eggs and the buttermilk. So what we're gonna do is we'll start off with a little dry ingredient.
You have to do a little bit at a time, because if you're using a KitchenAid, I made the mistake one time of dumping everything in at once, and I was coated. It goes.
And what we're gonna do is just dry to wet and in dry. Ooh boy, that looks good already.
It sure does. Smells good. Too.
Okay. A little bit more flour and sugar. And we'll put some more egg and butter.
He's alternating these ingredients because it'll mix better.
Yeah. Just back and forth, but you want to end with your dry ingredients and not the eggs and buttermilk, because you know you really want to get the eggs and buttermilk in there. And we also, in the wet ingredients, we put the lemon flavor and the vanilla flavor in that too. See, that's gonna help, because you know sometimes when you're baking, you get a hold of somebody's cake and you can't tell nothing but the eggs. You won't find the flavor, so you don't never want to do that. So make sure that you got enough flavor. My grandma always told me, say, it ain't gonna hurt to put a little bit extra in there.
Another secret is don't buy imitation to make a good cake.
No, you gotta have the extract.
It's got to say pure on both of them.
That's right. Oh, ain't that so pretty, Edna?
It's getting creamy.
Yeah, man. Oh. I'm having a blast. Pour some more of that.
Yeah, he brought me a slice of this back probably in the around 1980.
Yeah,
late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s. Gotta be, because and we had a janitor named Odell Brown. Oh my goodness. He would be very disappointed on Monday morning, because first thing he gonna say when I'm going across the breezeway, hey, where's my cake? I'm going like, oh, I forgot. Oh, why did you do that? He said, I said, well, listen, we got 4 more days of school. I'll bring it tomorrow. I always brought Coach Horn. He'd be looking for his. He'd be standing outside his door.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
where my cake at? And Mr. Banford would get me to make him strawberry layer cake. And
Christmas
just through the year, I'll be in the library, because, you know, I call Miss Banford Mama. And so she, he would come in and say, he said, Willie Pendergrass, Mr. Banford want to see you. So I go to his office. He said, hey, how about throwing me a strawberry layer cake together? And I would. And I'll bring it the next day or the next day. And I would bring Miss Odell, Mr. Latham. Really, pretty much all of them got.
And you know somebody else that would make good cakes and bring them to school like that was Ann Bobo.
Right. Oh, Lord, what a character.
She made good cakes too.
Yeah. So, and then with Miss Odell, when we would get out for Christmas break from the school, the next day or a couple of days afterwards, I would ride over to her house. Anna.
It's okay.
And I would make her the Japanese fruit layer cake.
You gonna have to make me one of them.
We have
to show me how.
Well, I tell you what, I come over here and I'll show you show you how to make it, and it'll drive everybody.
Jerry
crazy.
will probably like that because he likes spice cake.
I had some, and somebody told somebody else that I had some, and my great aunt that's in Carolina Sister Garden, she wanted some, so I had to give up Edna's Japanese layer. But what we gonna do?
Yeah,
we're gonna
come away my Japanese fruit.
I'm gonna come back and we gonna make it. Oh, I got a picture of it. She's seen the picture of it. That thing was that high off the table, and 4 layers.
And also that cake you made for Candy Gore.
Oh yeah, that pineapple coconut cake. Wasn't that the bomb though? That was big. I wanted to cut it so bad. I didn't know what to do. I kept saying, Will, Lee, don't bother the man's cake now. See, years ago, I'm gonna tell myself. Years ago, when I was baking for people. See, I got started baking with my mom. My mom would go around every week, the week before Christmas or the week leading up to Christmas, and make that old-fashioned Japanese fruitcake layer cake. So I was a little boy holding her hand, going around from house to house. Now we had several other families in the community. They made it also, but the story comes from a cousin of mine named Miss Layla.
Thompson.
I don't know what Layla's last name was. I guess she was Craig. I think she was Craig. Layla Craig. She got the recipe from a lady called Miss Emily Burns from Lockhart. Buns, yeah, Lockhart. And so she introduced it to Thompson Quarters, and of course, you know, it's something about these hands, we could do it better than Miss Emily could. Yeah. And so Janie made it. The Miss Annabelle Thompson made her own. Evelyn Jeter made her own. My mama, Ed Ty, Miss John Witt, all of them, and my friends, they made it themselves. But my mama went all over the neighborhood making it. So when she retired from it, she passed the torch to me, and I kept that going.
I've got Miss Virginia Daniels' Japanese fruit cake recipe in her own handwriting.
Oh, good. Oh boy.
You have to look at it.
She gave me a Lockhart United Methodist cookbook. And Miss Odell gave me one with Wesley Chapel Community. It's blue.
Yeah.
Oh, I would take I wouldn't take $1 million for it.
Now, I've got a cookbook that I treasure, and it's the Lemons cookbook.
Okay.
Because the Lemons family has got so many great cooks. Starting with my grandmother Lemons.
All right. Yeah, I've heard all about her cooking. Yes.
And all my aunts, and just like yours.
Yeah, and see, my aunt Leola Good, she used to work at Lockhart in the kitchen, and see and see her sister is my other grandma, Wilma. That's my mom's mother. And you talking about could burn now. Her and my mom used to work at Square Restaurant down at Chester and be cooks and chefs down there. And so she could do anything. My aunt Leola, she just...
This is where he learned all this talent.
My aunt Leola used to call me on a Sunday evening. Hey, come out here. And I go out there. She said, you know, I made yeast rolls. I made yeast rolls over for my little children over at the Head Start Union, and mine was just dry. How about you make a batch? I said, hey, Lil, you know I got to go to school in the morning. She said, oh, you young, you can do it. And when I got them made and everything, she said, now, this is the way yeast rolls are supposed to take. I said, I think this is a mind game here. But she did. I would cook her 10 and 12 and 15 cakes on Christmas. And I'd go out there, want to sample a piece. Couldn't find a cake in the house, and guess where the cakes would be? She done took all them cakes over to the Head Start and put them in the freezer, and she said I had to feed my little children every day. So, you know, but anyway, we're going to keep on putting the dry ingredients, and this is the remainder of the
butter and the buttermilk.
Yeah, the buttermilk and the eggs and the flavor.
I let the butter sit out to be room temperature instead of melting it.
And you should do all of it that way. Your eggs and your milk and all of it.
A sifter for this.
No, just take some and put in there and
I'm going to go ahead and start flouring this, and We didn't say we did, but Willie and I both washed our hands before we
Right. Yeah, trust me, they real clean.
We did not start this until we went to the bathroom and washed our hands. That is the first thing anybody should do before they cook anything.
Right.
You coat the bottom of the pan real good. And then you can kind of shift the flour around.
I just take mine and hit the...
Yeah.
And uh-oh, we didn't get a little bit down there.
I'm going to get it.
Okay. If I find a spot that ain't got no,
I'm going to coat it off.
I'll
show you when I get it finished.
Yeah.
And we'll pour the excess off.
Now, we want to hear from everybody about this cake.
Now, some of your teachers that's out there that you had and some of my co-workers that you had, I'm sure they're going to be looking like
yeah.
George Jones.
Oh, yeah. You know, his comment was, oh, my goodness, my two favorite cooks, and they going to be in one house together.
Ginger Fant.
Oh, yeah, Miss Fant. That's my mama. Yeah.
Who else?
Let's see. We got Mr. Jones. We got Ginger. We got Mr. Vanderford. Edna.
Mr. Lawrence Vanderford.
Lawrence Vanderford. We got Miss Powell.
Mayora Powell.
Yeah, we got Phyllis Gibson. Let's see who else left. You got Miss Rhonda. That was she wasn't there when we were there, but she's still been a part of.
Who?
Miss Rhonda Thomas.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Who else? Some in them died.
Rick Mathis.
I thought he.
Did you have? Philip Horn's not with us.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Horn.
real bad by Coach Horn because we had just got out of school and went back to next school system.
Rick
he
Mathis was at the school.
Yeah, Rick Mathis was. Oh boy, he was a mess too.
Did you ever have
okay, people. He would say, okay, people. And then, we had Mr. Farr. Oh, he was our weatherman. He's going to tell us exactly how we're going to get a big snowstorm in this our part of the country, He was a trip. Mr. Latham.
He's no
longer with us either.
Jane Phillip.
And then Miss Daniels no longer with us. Miss Moore, Eileen Moore. Miss Peggy Odell. How about Miss Hawkins? I don't know. Okay, Miss Ray, she was, oh boy, she was real strict. And then you had Miss Greer, she's in Spartanburg. Who else been on the phone? Okay, Miss Robinson, Miss Jenny Robinson.
She's not with us.
She's no longer with us. You got Miss Beth Wells.
Yep.
Miss Ginger Fan.
Does that look good?
Yeah. Let me see. Beat it down on the table and get that excess out of there, I probably grazed it to death, didn't I?
That's good. It won't stick.
That was Mr. Reynolds, the band teacher.
Okay, look. After you get it greased and then you flour it and shift it all over.
Mm-hmm. Let me just do something, Edna. Maybe I'm a little bit more stricter with this right here. See how we just got all this extra right there? Woo! Come on out of there, bad boy.
He's got to put the Willie to it.
Yeah. I mean, that really stuck to it real good.
It won't stick, will it?
No, you got that right. Now, so there's your pan. And I love it because the spout doesn't come out. It stays in. But if you do have one and the spout comes out, all you do is take the spout out and you turn that part down on the table, lay you some wax paper or parchment paper, and cut the circle. Then you fold it just like what do you call it? Like this right here. Triangle. And then you cut the tip off, and I tell you, it'll fit right down over it. And so that's what we had to do back in the day because we didn't have one.
Parchment paper.
We wasn't rich enough to have the one that fits down in there.
If you use parchment paper, it will not stick.
It will not. I'm telling you.
Okay, that's good. You got it all out.
Yeah, so I'm going to let this go just a couple minutes, couple seconds here, because I don't want to overbeat it. I just want to incorporate the flour in it. There you go. Ooh, look how creamy and beautiful, Edna. Oh, my goodness.
So you got all the ingredients in there right now?
Everything is in there. Everything that's meant to be is in there. Oh. What a beautiful batter. See, years ago, we would, you know, this was the height of when your grandma and mom was in the kitchen because she got to lick the beaters and eat the goodie out of the bowl. Mm-hmm. And now when we were baking for Christmas or Thanksgiving, making a lot of cakes, we made samples. We would have a little old pie plate, and we just put just enough batter and stick it in the oven and get it out, and we break it open, and if it looks real solid and pretty on the inside, you know you had some good old layer of cakes. Okay. I don't like leaving none on there. Every little bit makes the cake that much bigger.
And we preheated the oven on 325, and it's been preheated since we started.
Right. I heard it go off beep, beep, beep. Let you know it's ready. And you're going to bake it for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's going to depend on your oven. Everybody's oven doesn't bake the same. Now, this is an electric oven. They really electric is really different from gas. I have gas in my home and I don't like it. I really just don't like it, but I have to adjust my temperature, and I can't, like if a cake says 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's probably going to be 1 hour and 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's cooked.
And you better get it out, if you know what's good for you. You better dry it out. Well, now, here is the batter. This is not the finished product, but the finished product of mixing it together. And see how beautiful and creamy it is? So what we're going to do, I'm going to stir it from the bottom, make sure everything is in there really good.
That's the key. He's got it where everything's really combined real well and fluffy.
It's real thick and fluffy. See, if you make a pound cake in this and it's so runny, you pour it in the you're gonna have a tight cake. So Edna's gonna twirl a pan around for me, and we're just gonna gradually let it fall in this good old tube pan.
This is the best kind of pan to use too. I've got a bundt pan.
Yeah.
And for this recipe, I love my regular tube pan.
Yeah, me too. I got my my grandma's, and I got 2 of my Aunt Leola's, and I got some square pans of hers.
Along with these kind of pans, a tube pan is kind of hard to find now if you're looking for them.
Yeah, you can get them. You go online. But boy, what they want you to pay for. Phew. And they made from, I think, Wilton. I think that's what mine is. Old company from years back, you know.
Yeah.
But if you can find, it's a place in Charlotte. I don't know if it's still open. I took the lady from our church years ago. We built the fellowship hall up, and she bought everything for the kitchen. All kind of pans and sheet pans and pots, and it was a wholesale place, right on Tryon.
You have your special pans for special things. And
you better believe it.
Cast iron frying pans are a must.
Oh, what you talking about?
If you're going to fry some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you fry chicken in?
Mm-hmm. That's right. It seems like it's not right if you don't use it.
I cook everything in it. If it's going to be fried, my black skillets are out there.
You got that right. Hey, you can put your biscuits in there too. You ever put your biscuits in there and bake them?
All the time. Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
you need to try. You need to try that too. Biscuits work really well.
I make more biscuits than a fit in them.
I know. I made biscuits yesterday, and I used my kind of like middle pan. It helped, and then I still had like maybe that much dough left, and so I froze it. I said I'll be willing to fry apple pie one of these days.
Oh yeah.
And just take it out, and throw it out, and get some of that dough off there.
That's what Jerry loves, fried apple
pie. I fried 30 of them not this past Sunday, but the second Sunday for a customer. She first said she wanted 40. I said, oh no. I said, and I was smart enough to do the apples Friday night and in the dough. So Sunday morning, I just put everything together. So I did. Hey, y'all want a sample? Let's show you how good. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It passes the raw test. Okay.
Well, anyway,
we're getting ready to transport it to the oven.
And we're gonna say it went in there at 10 minutes to 3. Get on over there, Edna. You want a carrot? Okay, we're gonna slide this buttermilk pound cake in the oven, and which has been preheated to 325. So it's supposed to cook for 1 hour and 20 to 30 minutes. But when I do it, it's mostly 1 hour and 20 minutes. You know, you can always take it out a little bit after an hour. It won't fall. Just if you want to peek at it and just look at it. But hour and 20 minutes should be sufficient. So now we're gonna slide her right on in there. Okay, sweetie. We'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes.
With the finished product.
With the finished product. Well, hello, folks. Well, we back in Edna's kitchen, cooking with Edna, and we are going to show you our finished product of the buttermilk pound cake. So I'm going to take it out of the oven now and show you what the finished product should look like. Okay, there is your finished product. We cooked it about, I would say, maybe an hour and 25 minutes, and maybe 5 minutes over, something like that. But isn't it beautiful? So we're gonna set it over here, and I guess we're gonna put it on the cake plate here. Now, a lot of times I'll just take another plate and flip it so that this part will be up. You turn it down on your plate and flip it back. So I don't know, Edna, which way you want to do it.
Well, here we are back again with the finished product made by Edna Sue and Willie Pendergrass. And I'm going to let him do the cutting. And while he's cutting, I have got crushed pineapple and its syrup. I've got fresh strawberries and some sugar juice these are fresh from the garden. And I have sliced peaches. You take your choice, or you can eat it plain. And if you want some toppings, here's some whipped cream.
All right, Edna, let me serve you first. All right. Oh, this is going to be so good. It's nice and hot. Oh, just look at that texture. Isn't that beautiful? Now, that's what it should look like.
You can go ahead and cut Mr. Jerry a piece.
Okay, now, Mr. Jerry, we're going to give you a nice little chunk.
We've been smelling it since it's been cooking.
Oh, been driving us crazy.
It smells, your house smells good, even if the cake wasn't good. This will make your house smell wonderful.
I tell you, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be delicious.
Ooh, look at it. Isn't it just so beautiful?
Yeah. Turn it around so they can see the...
Yeah.
Look at that. Masterpiece. And it's very simple.
Good old-fashioned buttermilk pound cake.
Now this is the recipe that we've used for how many years?
Oh, I've been at it since I was little, and I introduced it to Edna when I was like 7th, 8th grade, and I've been out of school. Oh Lord, soon be 40 years. So
I'm not gonna tell you how long I've been out.
I'm telling you now, but it's been around a long time, and pretty much I make a whole lot of other pound cakes, but this is my grandmama's, and she loved it, so I pretty much would throw it together anytime. It could be one day through the week, and she'd say, make that buttermilk pound cake. So here it is.
Well, which topping are you going to use?
Well, I think I want the strawberries.
You just help yourself. And I think I'm going to take peaches.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to have a piece with all of it.
Oh.
What you want, Jerry? A little dab of whipped cream.
Put a little bit. Hey, it's kind of like
you can eat it plain or either fix it up any kind of way you want it, and you can either make chocolate syrup too.
Anything you want, and hey, or just cut you a big old slice and get you a bowl with some good old vanilla ice cream, and you down at the river.
That means that calls for another piece.
There you go. There you go. I really don't think I want any of this.
Not really?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Now let's just see. Let's just bust into this bad boy. Oh.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, just melts in your mouth. Oh, it's so moist and tender.
Well, stay tuned for more shows with Cooking with Edna Sue, and it was a very wonderful time to have you here.
Oh, love you, Edna and
Love you
Mr.
too.
Jerry. Yeah, I've had a blast. Can't wait to see it. Okay.
Until then, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.